Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to integrate the DeepSeek API into n8n to be able to use it to chat with it, with its chat model and with its reasoning model. And so I have a simple workflow here. It's just a chat input with a model. And here's my DeepSeek node. And so I can ask it a question, what is peanut butter? And it's going to think about it for a second. And it's going to eventually give me a response. Eventually, I know I'm using the chat model. It shouldn't take that long. Okay, here we go. Peanut butter is a food paste or spread made primarily from ground dried peanuts, yada, yada. Okay, so it gives us our answer. It's exactly what we're looking for. And so how do we actually set this up in n8n? Well, what we do is we can either go over here to our overview, to our dashboard, and this is where you have all of your workflows. You can click on credentials or come up here to create a new credential. That's one way to do it. Or we can do it directly within the DeepSeek chat node. So say we don't have it, all we gotta do is come over here, click on this, do DeepSeek, boom, it opens it up for us. Now I already have an account, and so if you have an account and your credentials set up in n8n, it'll appear here. If not, all we have to do is click create new credential, and then it's gonna ask us to put in an API. So what we do is we go over to Google, just search for DeepSeek, click on DeepSeek, and here's DeepSeek's website. You come up here to the top right corner, you're going to see API platform. You click that. Okay, all we have to do here is if you do not yet have a DeepSeek account, you're going to want to click sign up, and you put in your email, your password, a verification code, and then it'll sign you up. But I'm going to go ahead and log in because I already have an account, and I just log in with my email, and it's going to take me directly to the platform page, which is where you'll end up after you sign up. Now you'll see a $0 balance here. What you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to top up. Now, here's the thing about DeepSeek. DeepSeek is incredibly inexpensive. All right, so API pricing. We'll just check it out really quick. And it's they actually even have an additional discount right now. So between 9:30 a.m. Pacific and 1:30 p.m. Pacific, they're like 50% off for their chat model and 75% off for their reasoning model. So definitely try to get your work in early with this one because it is quite powerful for the price. It's so ridiculously inexpensive compared to what you're going to see with OpenAI, with Claude, and it's incredibly powerful too. So we see with their chat model for million input, we see it's 27 cents per million input. And it's $1.10 for output. And then if we compare that to, we'll do this real quick, OpenAI API, and then we'll do pricing real quick. You'll be able to see, compared to their 4.0 model, 4.0 is $2.50 per million token input and $10 per million token output. And so compared to $1.10, it's nearly a tenth of the price. And then if you do it during those special hours, which is UTC 1630 to 0030, that is 4:30 p.m. UTC, which is 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, to 1:30 p.m. Pacific, or that's 4:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, hopefully you caught that. Versus their reasoning model, which is like O1 up here. So it's like the OpenAI O1. It's their thinking model, their reasoning model. It's their smart model. And so that's normally 55 cents per $1 million input and $2.19 per million output. And then during the reduced times, you're looking at 13.5 cents per million input and only 55 cents per million output. That's compared to O1, which is $15 per million input and $60 per million output. I mean, it's a night and day difference. You're getting almost 110 times your value by using DeepSeek. And the reasoning model is fairly equivalent. It is a really good reasoning model. It's a really good chat model. So do not just skip this one. It is pretty good. All right, so what you're gonna wanna do is first you're gonna wanna make sure you add some money. You know, $2, $5. I put $5 in here about a month and a half ago, and it barely does any damage whenever I run DeepSeek. Usually I'm using it for one-off things, just because I like to use it instead of the OpenAI thinking models in my platforms, in my workflows. But all you got to do in order to be able to use it is come over here to where it says API keys. You click on that, and you're going to want to generate a new API key. So you click here, create new API key, and we'll just call this n8n test key 2, create new key. And obviously I'm going to delete this key. Never ever share your API keys online. Never share them online. Never share them online, because people can run up your account and you just don't want to do that. So grab our API key. We come back over here to n8n where we started. We put it in there. We hit save. And boom, it's done. We come down here. We have our chat model. No, I don't want to save that. And we just say, where is Mongolia compared to China, just as an example. All right, now it's using its chat model. And so what it's going to do is it's going to take a second. It's writing out our answer. And it should just take another second or two to respond. You'll notice this is a little bit slower than maybe like a 4.0 mini model. That's a really, really fast model. This one does take a bit more time because it is a bit heavier. So Mongolia is located to the north of China. It's landlocked. Perfect. We got our answer. All right, so let's do a slightly different one. We're going to come in here. We're going to do a reasoner. So this is a thinking model. And please give me several ideas to promote my YouTube content. Now, this is a terrible prompt for a reasoning model, but I just want to show it working. So it's going to come in here. Now, the model behind the scenes is actually writing a whole bunch. It's writing something, and then it's reviewing what it wrote, and it's writing some more, considering what it had just written based on the prompt. It's really thinking through how to answer your question, not just writing. So you may not be familiar, or maybe you are familiar with how these GPT models work. They predict the next token based on this big old table that they have that just has percentage odds of this next word following that word based on the conditions and criteria. It's a lot of math, but that's not quite exactly how the reasoning models come up with their answers. They come up with their answers by doing that next token generation, but then it reviews what it's writing in order to then add that to its list or its base of knowledge to be able to figure out how to answer your question. And then it just iterates until it comes up with a solution. So let's go ahead and see what it does here. It says optimize on-platform SEO, good, leverage social media, collaborations and networking, so get guest appearances and podcasts and blogs. So it thought through it. And we can see the output over here, same thing. We do not see the actual thinking. Now that is something that you can do if you were able to like code or program and use this in the terminal. I know you definitely can output the thinking. There may be a way to do it in n8n. I've never actually taken the time to try to figure it out because I don't need to know what the model is thinking necessarily. I just need to make sure that I'm getting the right outputs. If I was really going to dig into it, I would set up a way to see that. But for my purposes, for your purposes, you really don't need it. You just need the output. And if it's good enough, then you can go ahead and use it. And so this one, it worked. It looks like it used 1377 tokens, 21 for my prompt, and 1,356 tokens for my completion. Now, again, if we remember the pricing, I'm at this rate here. That cost me maybe a cent or two to run that question. So just bear in mind that this does cost money, and it does allow you to use these heavier models that you may not be able to because you're priced out of them when using OpenAI. And so hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. Please check out my free school community for additional resources, free n8n workflows, technical support, and a great community of business owners looking to implement AI automation. Or you can join my paid school community for advanced tips, detailed tutorials, and direct support. The links are all provided in the video description below. And other than that, if you could please like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really does help. It helps me promote this out there to help business owners to be able to figure out how to use these simple tools that will allow them to implement really low cost AI solutions into their business. And once you guys see the workflows that I have for you guys coming out, you're really going to want to be able to use the most powerful model you can to be able to get the best results you can. All right, that's what I got. Take care.